Hello, Sister Circle. As promised, we are back. I have the amazing Kendall Harris with me. As I explained to you all last week, we were unable to do the live due to some technical difficulties, but we are back this week and we are talking about one of the most anticipated topics, and that is how to navigate a narcissist. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. I'm going to let Kendall briefly introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kendal Harris. I am a clinician. I've been in the co occurring field, meaning that I work with persons with mental health and substance use issues. I've been in the field for about 20 years. That's too long. But anyway, addiction is my passion. And also, I'm working with persons with personality disorders. If your clinician's on, you'll be like, ew, right? But that's a part of the field, right? And that's what we do. So I'm honored that Didi asked me to come on and talk about narcissist personality disorder. And one thing, I do not proclaim to be an expert. I'm going to go by experience and even some of my book knowledge. So I hope it helps. Okay.
All right, so let's jump in. So, first things first, what is the clinical definition of a narcissist?
Well, it's a personality disorder characterized by exaggerated sense of importance and self. Most narcissists, they have this exaggerated sense of importance. They lack empathy for other people. And it usually begins in early childhood into early adulthood when it's diagnosed. But it's more prevalent than people acknowledge. A lot of people look at it as, oh, that's just so and so being whomever, and they are just. Some people may look at it in a positive note that they're confident, but it also can be that confidence can also be a hindrance for people. And according to the DSM-5, you all bear with me. According to the DSM-5, you must meet 5 out of the 9 criteria. And the DSM-5 is called the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, and you can look it up on Google. You can Google it, or some of you may already have a DSM-5 in your personal library. But out of the 5, and I'm going to go through the characteristics, is grandiose sense of self and importance is one. And those are people who exaggerate their achievements, people who brag about their talents and often lie about it. Someone may have for example, gone to the military, but when they tell the story, they are a colonel, right?
5-star general.
A 5-star general, exactly. They would just glamorize it. I supervised this brigade, or I did so and so, when they really was just probably, and I don't know a lot about how you go with an entry level, right, person. So there are people who may brag about their achievements, and also they fantasize a lot of fantasies about being rich, right? For example, fantasize about their success and power. Those are some of the characteristics. To make it more personal, fantasize men. Since we're talking about relationships and morally on a male perspective, men who brag about women, having multiple women, and these women love me and successful, etc. The big thing is they lack empathy for others. Lacking empathy. As females, we may tell them that, that really hurt me, what you said, or what you did. That really made me feel bad. And they would throw it back. And so they're very good with that and switch it back and said, is it me that did this to you, or is this is what you feel about yourself? And
right.
You just bring that into our relationship, right? Because you know that I love you. You're supposed to automatically assume, although you may have multiple women on the side. But anyway, the other piece, and also I'm going to go back into the empathy. They may not even have a lot of empathy for losses. Let's say their mate, and I'm not saying all, but their mate may have had a significant loss in their life, and the mate we want to lean on them, right, for support. That makes, a lot of times for narcissists, it makes them uncomfortable because empathy is a sign of weakness to them. So you may not get a lot of affection. In other words, you may in a relationship find yourself giving more than what you receive. You're going to find that. That's very common. They have issues with relationships with others. They envy. They have issues with being envious of others. And you find jealousy, right? You got that car, but mine is bigger and better. I'm going out to buy bigger. You may have a Hyundai that's really nice, but they go out and buy a Mercedes just to outdo you, right? They don't even care about the bill. They're just going to do it, right? So you may find that, and they need excessive admiration because they have an empty self-image, mostly, and they lack self-esteem. So they tend to have the need for a lot of admiration. Too much attention is never enough.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, so it's never enough. So they tend to drain you in the relationship. And a sense of entitlement. How dare you put your job in front of me? Let's say you all have a dinner date and you had to work late that day, right? And it's legitimate. That's your job. It's your livelihood, right? But how dare you put your job in front of me? How dare you do that? We had this dinner date. I don't care if you're a crisis worker and someone was in crisis, or you're a doctor and you had to perform that emergency surgery, right? Because to
I was in crisis too.
Right. How about that? Because to them, you don't love me. You don't love me. And that comes from that lack of validation. And the other, one more that I want to add is that they shows arrogant and haughty behaviors, very arrogant, just suck up the air in the room. When they walk in the room, they just suck up the air. You're going to see them. For some women, that's a good thing. They see this man as confident and he's fine. But as you get into the core of that person, you see not only they're sucking up the air in that room, but your air as well. So, I do want to add the piece of add malignant narcissist. I'm not going to stay there, but just think of Donald Trump when you think of a malignant narcissist. They have antisocial personality and aggression. They're aggressive, and they feel pleasure by inflicting pain on others. So I know. Donald Trump really helped me really dig and study malignant narcissists, because that's who he is, because he adds on that antisocial piece. So think about a narcissist personality, then you add an antisocial personality on top of it. So it can be a bit much.
Millions of folks feeding that
Yes. So yeah, that's it. It's so much information I have in my mind. So if I seem like I'm stumbling, y'all bear with me. I want to make sure I do this well for you.
So let me ask you this. Because I hear some of the things you describe, and I'm speaking from a point of view of someone who's listening to this now. I hear the things you describe, but there's no way that my person can be a narcissist, because he is so charming. I mean, he sees about me. He buys me things. He's not selfish. He just is concerned about everything that I do, and he wants it to be okay, and he wants to be that person that makes it okay. But I don't know, some of the things you describe sounds like my person. How do I know? What am I looking for in this relationship specifically?
Okay. Think back to the different characteristics that I have shared with you. They're very when you first meet them, they're very romantic, sweep you off your feet. The first date, they spend excessive money on you, really romance you in ways that you may not ever, had experienced. Women, for instance, rose petals. I mean, they're over romantic. They want to be acknowledged as the best, right? I'm the best. So they may lay rose petals, when they take you out, maybe rose petals, maybe have someone to come and sing to you at the table, buy the best wine, etc. They're overly romantic, and it's usually a relationship builds right into that, to that place. You start off as friends,
right,
but they get overly romantic in the very beginning. This sweeps you off your feet, and that's where we get fooled, because we think, oh my God, he must really like me, and that's not necessarily the case. That's one of the signs. Texting I love you all the time. I just want to make it plain. You get the I love you, and it's like, he loves me on the first day. The first day I met you, Dee Dee, I fell in love with you, and you're like, this man don't even know me. We just met,
right.
but that they start off that strong. They make you feel just special. Narcissists feel that they deserve to be with people who are special. So you have to fit a certain bill for them. So they have to see you as something really special. So you may hear that often. Those are some of the signs too. You may see that they feel like they need to be around people who are on their level or better. They feel this higher status than them because that makes them feel important.
So him buying my clothes is not really about me. It's about I need to look the part to be with him.
That's right, because you're his trophy.
Right.
You're his trophy. So around his buddies and friends, hey, he's showing off Dee Dee, for example. Ladies showing you off, right? That
Y'all
is,
writing this stuff down?
and I even wrote here the women. I did take some notes, you all, because I want to make sure I had this right. And that's it. They feel that you understand me. I'm with a woman who understands me. One of the signs as well is if once you get to know them, like I said, by the second or third date, they want a certain amount of attention from you. Okay, because it's like I did all these things for you, and may even ask you to take them. You owe them dinner because they took you out to dinner. Okay, and I want to add, I just want to give this caveat that is really, this is a little personal for me as well, because thank God my husband's not, but we have family members. I have a family member, two family members that are narcissists, and I couldn't understand why there was a situation where I tried to rescue the person, and because I love them, we love our family, but I got sucked in the turmoil, and it was a couple, and I got sucked in, and what I didn't realize, and it actually took a girlfriend of mine who was a clinician to say, Kendal, you got sucked in a narcissist borderline relationship because we care, and it was manipulative, but what we talked about, and it was like, you got to get out of that because that is not a healthy relationship. So clinicians, y'all, we're counselors, but we can't counsel our family, but so it's personal for me. I understand it's a lot of what I'm sharing is from personal experience as well as using the DSM-4. But also one of the warning signs is they are moody. Their mood changes. You don't know what you're getting from day to day. Someone else at work a supervisor could have overlooked them that day, but you better believe you're going to get it. When they get home, you better give them that attention they didn't get at work, or you're going to get it emotionally or physically. They can be very verbally and physically abusive as well. Those are warning signs.
That kind of leads into another question I have. It was on my list to ask, and then someone asked it last week. They wanted to know, how do I protect myself if I can't get away from that relationship? It is a family member, or we share children together, we share a home together. How do I protect myself in this relationship?
Well, run, but no. One of the things, establish boundaries. It starts with you. You evaluate, look at, what am I getting out of this relationship? Am I giving more to this person than they're giving me? Am I doing more for this person? Are they making me feel bad because they're not feeling bad? Am I drained emotionally by this person? Those are one of the things that you should really look at, and how to protect yourself in the relationship. Also, if you're in a marriage or in a deep relationship, establish boundaries. You got to. If no means no. A narcissist don't like no. Now, if you start doing these things, the relationship may not last. Because one of the things big thing that motivates narcissists is that you cater to them. They are number one. They come before you. Right? They come before you. So establish your boundaries, protect yourself, and really do a self-evaluation. Like I said, just evaluate, what are you getting out of this? Is this relationship benefiting me? And if you're in really deep and you find this, you can't get out, then I would advise you to seek therapy or seek someone who can give you really sound, I don't want to say advice because it's not about it, but sound encouragement, sound realistic conversation, right? To
Yeah.
help guide you out. Yeah.
So that goes into, I have a two-part question, and you just made me think of something. But so I've been in a long term. This is one of the questions. I've been in
Mm-hmm.
a long term relationship with a person like you described, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's over. How do I heal from that? Because I feel like those relationships change who you are
Mm-hmm.
tremendously. How do you heal from being in a relationship, or is this something you need to see about you that needed that relationship? Like, what was it about? I'm gonna be transparent. I was in a relationship that way.
Mm-hmm.
So then coming out of that relationship, I had to ask myself, what was it about me that needed that type of validation from somebody, that constant praise, somebody constantly saying about, like, what was it
Mm-hmm.
about me? So how does a
Mm-hmm.
person heal coming out of that?
Well, let me say this. I'm going to take it to the type of women that narcissists date, and then I'm going to go into that piece. Hopefully, answer some of the questions. See, narcissists are attracted to a certain type of women who, rather than they're weak, that they're very strong, independent, headstrong. And even though we're headstrong, some women are headstrong, goal directed, confident, independent, and still have some self esteem issues and still suffer
Absolutely.
with a lot of inadequacies or depression, or have been in abuse, came out of a home of abuse, right? Or have had experiences with abuse. So, when you women who suffer with that or have issues with that, I go back to it starts with self. I do know someone who was in a relationship and she had to seek therapy. And one of the main goals she started with was increasing her working on her self-esteem because she had low self-esteem. And where did that take root? Where did her core longing needs, when did those thoughts become distorted? And where those core longing needs were not met, meaning growing up as a child, not getting love, not feeling accepted, not being listened to and heard, not being encouraged about, when with their accomplishments, etc. And why do I feel that I need to be with a man who is overly exaggerated, who is overly confident? What is it about this man that I feel, what am I getting out of this, right? I'm getting tongue tied, getting full, thinking of everything. So it starts with self. Definitely evaluate where you are. And if you can't seem to move, if you still feel stuck in that relationship, I still go back to, and I'm not going to use a lot of clinical terms because everyone on here are not clinicians. So I'm not going into, but there are several therapeutic modalities that are used, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, just something to help you change your thinking. Where the thoughts, it starts with a thought, right? Our distorted thinking when we're with people, and then it comes through our behavior. So there are different treatment modalities that are used, but it definitely starts with us. Why am I? And I do want to add that, and I'm not saying every woman with a narcissist have borderline personality disorder, right? But narcissist men, their nemesis, I do want to add this caveat, their nemesis are women who also have personality disorders, which is borderline personality disorder, because borderline women don't give them that gratification that they seek. And one thing about a narcissist, they like challenges. So let's go back. I hate to mention this man's name, but he's the perfect example. And that's Trump and what's her name? Melania, right? Because you notice that Melania never gives him validation. When they're in public, she'll even move her hand. That kills him because he's a narcissist. So it's like, oh, she's gonna love me. That's my trophy. She's gonna love me. And that keeps Melania in the game, and it keeps him in the game. Trump in the game. I hate to say his name, but it keeps Trump in the game because they get something from each other. It's like they're using each other. She knows what to do to keep him running behind her, but he's not getting that validation that he seeks from her. But it's a challenge for him, right? So, so that's a prime example. So I hope I answered that question.
You did. As we about time goes by so fast, and we could talk about this all day. But as we're wrapping up, one of the last questions that I have, and this also came through the chat. I'm hanging on a hope that some kind of way I can change this person. Will the narcissist in my life ever change?
No, ma'am. Okay,
Tell the truth, shame
all
the
jokes
devil.
aside, the likelihood, and some of you clinicians, if you want to email Dee Dee or send something to Dee Dee and want to add to that, I'm okay with that. What I've read, my research, my experience as a clinician, very minimal. 90% no, they do not change. Because the reason why, because narcissists don't think they have a problem. They don't think they have a problem, so it's hard to get them to go to therapy when they don't think they have a problem. You have the problem. You got the problem because I'm fantastic. I'm all that in a bag of chips. You got the problem because you can't see that.
And don't go to therapy and talk about me.
Right, exactly. And what happens, I had a client who was a narcissist male, and he told me, he said, I went to therapy before. He said, but she had a problem. All the questions she was asking me, like I had a problem. I don't have a problem. And I'm like that, oh my God. So I know you are probably laughing. So yeah, the likelihood, can they change if they want? Of course they can. But most of them, I haven't met one. Clinicians share if you know of anyone who who are narcissist personality disorder who has changed. But no, the likelihood is very minimal because they don't think they have a problem. So, yeah.
So, this was a quick session. We barely scratched the surface. I would encourage you ladies, if you know someone that's in a relationship with someone who's a narcissist, if you have someone who you suspect may be a narcissist in your life, you are welcome to email me questions, private message me questions, and I'm happy to get those answered for you. That's what we are here for. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, but every day we need to be aware of our mental health, and we need to be living in great health, and that's mind, body, and spirit. So having said that, I'm going to let Kendall have the last word, and we're out.
Okay, great. You asked the question, and I was looking at some notes. I said I didn't even touch it. Give yourself some space if you're involved with someone that's a narcissist. Give yourself some time and space. If you're getting over a relationship with a narcissist, that's what I wanted to say. Keep busy, right? Stay around positive people, and take time out for yourself. Take time out for yourself. But more than anything, if you feel that you're stuck, get help. Get help. If you would like know of someone who can provide that service, please reach out to Dee Dee, inbox her, and I'll gladly give you resources to get help. And I may even sit down with you and I'll open myself up to also speak with you and counsel you if needed. But best wishes to you. I appreciate the time. I hope I helped. A lot of information. There's still a lot I haven't even given.
We have to do part two.
Yes. But thank you so much for your time. Dee Dee, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Love y'all.